get into some NBA stuff before we wrap up the show. There's also another thing I want to talk about briefly here. Um, so I guess I'll just briefly talk about these summer league games and just sort of my general feelings about them and how reliable they are. So this game's not over, so we're not going to talk about it because I won't have a complete real discussion point. But Pistons played a couple of summer league games. Ron Holland in his debut shot 5 for 15. That's 33% from the field. He had 15 points though, a couple of blocks, a steal, a couple of assists, 7 rebounds. 83% from the free throw line. Pretty good. 5 for 6. 0 for 2 from 3. Yeah, I mean, like, again, like this game, I don't know. He's at least he's made some highlight plays. I don't know what it actually looks like on a stat sheet. Hopefully, he's been shooting better. Basically, my whole thing is like, look, we know, or at least the thing that we went into with Ron Holland is that, well, he's not the best shooter right now. So he needs to develop that shot. He needs to get better from that. So from my perspective, what I want to see is him shoot the ball effectively, right? Like that's all I want. If I can see him do that, and I know right now it's summer league, so they're doing it against, G League guys that probably won't make the team. I understand that. It is what it is. And I'm not gonna any of these stats, I'll forget about them by the time the season begins. Especially if X or Y player is playing good or bad. I'll forget about any performance they might have had in the summer league. But in my opinion, I wouldn't say it was a bad debut by any means. You scored 15 points in your debut on 24 minutes. I'll take that. That sounds good. That's pretty good production. But would like to see a little bit more effective shooting there. Now, I want to talk about. Now, I'm not. What you might be thinking is I'm going to talk about Denise Jenkins. No, I'm not talking about Dennis or Denise Jenkins. I'm not doing it. All right. Every year, some random nobody who has absolutely, and maybe this will come back to bite me, but has absolutely no future as an NBA player, is not an NBA talent. They'll just go off in summer league, and everybody's like, they're the steal of the draft. And then they just go into the NBA, and people forget about them. Like, I don't know Denise Jenkins from a hole in the wall. What I do know is that it's summer league, and any reaction outside of, that's pretty cool to see. Like, these are basically not basically, they are exhibition games. I mean, we're talking like crowds of maybe 100 total people. Maybe. Like, non-fans for the most, like people who are just in Vegas and they're like, hey, why don't we go catch a summer league game? Hey, I kind of like basketball. That could be fun. Tickets are, I don't know how expensive tickets are. I can't imagine they're any more than like $30 a person. No way. If they are charging you like $100 a person to go to a summer league game, then you better sue the NBA. Just find Adam Silver and just throw the book at him. That would be ridiculous. But I'm not going to talk about Denise Jenkins. I will, however, talk about Bobby Klintman, who spells his name Bobi. Nothing against that personally. I just think it's kind of weird. But past couple of games, at least those first 2 summer league games, he has kind of been like good, like better than I expected. So Bobby Klintman, by the way, he's the guy who we traded for in the second round from Minnesota. So he's a guy who presumably we had our eye on and enough to make a move to go get him. In game 1, he shot 50% from the field. He shot 42% from 3, 3 for 7 from 3, 5 for 10 from the field. Had 13 total points though, so he wasn't a lot of points, but effective percentage. Taking good shots and making them. In game 2, he had 18 points. Again, shot 50% from 3, 4 for 8, 53% from the field. So effective shooting. Points wise, obviously, it's not. He's not he's not dropping 30 bombs, but in 31 minutes played, he gets 18 points. He's a rebound away from a double-double. I'm just saying, I'm not Bobby Clinton. Maybe he's a total mirage. Maybe he's not all that good. But decent production from a guy you get in the second round, and that's all I can ask for. Because hey, you could have taken Bronny, and the other day he had 2 more points than me. Remember when the Lakers fans, and I don't know if many people remember this, but Lakers fans, when I made fun of their organization for being unserious and stupid, for hiring JJ Redick. So you guys still think you're a serious organization? That you really care about winning? When you drafted Bronny James in the second round? I don't care. Like, here's what people. Well, it's a second round pick. They're probably gonna suck anyway. You picked someone who will certainly suck, right? Someone who had no evidence of not sucking. At least if you would have taken, I mean, hell, if you could have taken, somebody who might be a G League player, right? Like, or might be a decent NBA player, but is probably just a everyday G League player, right? Some depth piece. Bronny James might not be a G League player, right? Like, this guy might not be a professional basketball player. He might not have even been a college basketball player. And like, it amazes me whenever and this is basically at this point, everybody is just making the obvious observation that Bronny James is just bad. Like, there's no getting around it. He is not a good basketball player. At least not at this level. Obviously, he'd probably destroy me, but hey, I'm 5'7" and he's 6'1", right? Like, that's just math. That's just science, okay? But either way, right? Like, the fact that he was drafted, he should not have been drafted. That organization, man, God bless the Lakers fans, because they're gonna need it. It's okay, yeah, great. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of sound off on that. And in NBA offseason news, wasn't a whole lot, but Jalen Brunson gets an extension with the Knicks, $157 million. Takes a pay cut. He was eligible for $269 million. Took the pay cut to stay in New York. Look, everything I hear about Jalen Brunson, every time I watch Jalen Brunson, he's becoming one of my favorite players that's not on the Pistons. He's an electric player. He's a guy you want to root for. He bet on himself and went to the Knicks, and he has been an absolute superstar. He's the face of their franchise. He embodies the Knicks to me, like this kind of tough, gritty, blue collar attitude team. Like, he embodies that, and I'm so glad to see that he's sticking around with the pay cut. Like, you really don't see that very often anymore in sports, and this is not an NBA thing necessarily. And I don't even fault players for not taking pay cuts. I totally understand. Why would you want to take less money? If it was me, I'd take the most money. But like, in this particular case, it's like, this is a guy, he could have taken that big paycheck, and people would have not been mad at him. People would have loved it. They would have said, "This is our guy. He's the man. We love him. Jalen Brunson's the dude." But he wants to win for the city, and I think if anybody were to win with the Knicks, and the Knicks have not won in a very long time, I would really hope it would be Jalen Brunson with that crowd, with that group. Like, they deserve it. It's a good story. I really like it. So shout out to Jalen Brunson. Great move for the Knicks to keep him around, and to keep him around at a cheaper price. Hi, it's me again. If you enjoyed what you just saw, hit the like and subscribe button. We do live shows every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there.